Yes, our conference today should be should give a beginning, a starting, should be a starting point for our reform thinking for the next decade, and from our point of view, it should be we want to have incentives for our opinion of the ACVT in December as the basis for the next recommendation for our VET framework in Europe.
Jürgen, would you like to add on that?
I think the intention to bring you here is twofold. So one thing is that we want an input for the policy discussion process leading to the opinion, as Alexander said. The second is that you are coming here, hearing things, your mind starts working or continues working, hopefully, and hopefully we are able to jog your minds and to invest in your thinking, and this has an impact if you go back into your countries, this has an impact in your interaction on European level, and this drives the process forward.
Here we see the slide with our 3 guiding questions we have seen before and talked about before. How is this format to support the outputs you want to generate?
We have these 3 sessions we have seen at the display. Yes, we have a very broad approach here, and we have a lot of persons from different backgrounds, like policy persons, like persons from the industry and the private sector, but also persons from the research institutions. And what our target is to get or to find a more clear overview about our reforms recommendations.
So, what's the storyline we want or what's the story we want to tell, and what's the storyline we prepared? So, first we started off with the policy level. Then we had as a next input the CEO level, the level of advanced industry. What do they need? Then we heard from Jens Bernewold, what does research know? Where do we stand with research? The next step will be giving you the opportunity to discuss things along 3 thematic strands with concrete inputs about concrete solutions to questions in certain systems. And to jog your minds, to bring your voice into it, we will have these discussions on tables of 10, so you can interact, and we will try to capture what you produce on these tables, again, capture it back with Slido and other mechanisms, and bring this again into the discussion. Then we will go into the Austrian system, have some reflections on the Austrian system. Then we will have another look at the Austrian system from the point of view of excellent people, winners of competitions, telling us a bit of their story, giving us an insight, how did they profit from the Austrian system, what might be lacking, what did they have to acquire elsewhere, and this is again a look into the practice. Then we will conclude for the day. I'm sure we will be exhausted, and in the morning, again we have a look into reality, a reality check in twofold. One idea is to have practitioners, people from the front line, you could say, from where things happen, giving a feedback. Are these European instruments, discussions, activities in any way fruitful? And then we step by step near ourselves, or come near the question, okay, we heard there's a lot of things which are changing, a lot of things, we had good examples, we had a reality check, and then we come to the policy reaction possibilities, and there we will have a twofold approach. In one part of a panel will be the national representatives giving content on answers, and then there will be a second panel where the European Union's institutions and agencies will meet and say, okay, if this is the content, what can we do in order to organize the process? And then we have a nice storyline, I think. We heard what's up, what's new, and how can we address this, and what are good forms of cooperation. If this plan is succeeding, then we will have some answers, or at least better questions at the end.
Yeah. Alexander, you want to add on that?
No, I think Jürgen has gave us a good overview about our program. Yeah.
Our conference and beyond, the post-2020 period, what is next? What will follow? What will be? Can you give us an outlook?
The next step will be the European Skills Week in November with the meeting of the Directors Generals for VET, where the proposals of our conference will be discussed. And then on after some weeks of involvement of the member states, we want to create or to define the content of the ECVT. ECVT is the advisory board of vocational training, which belongs to the European Commission. We want to define the content of this opinion, and we know that in the next year there will be the elections of the European Parliament, and there will be a new Commission. But after that, so more or less this is our idea. We want to recommend, or we want to come to an European recommendation of the Council as the framework for the next decade, as we have said. That's our idea. That's not the very defined target, but it's the whole approach of our conference today.
Yes, as the third in the trio of the presidencies, we wrap up what has been done before. We prepare a nice package, hopefully for the next presidency, and then we want to hand it over and say, okay, another step has been taken. Then we are successful.